This is Karachi, Pakistan, the largest city in the sovereign nation, with a population that social scientists say may reach as much as 23.5 million. This thriving center of a developing country is known as a core region for commerce and trade across South Asia. Join us as we embark on a journey through the renowned city's history that is Karachi. The physical site of Karachi is located within the Sindhi province on the southern coast of Pakistan, bordering the Arabian Sea. The entire city itself sees many hills, beaches, landscapes within its geography. On the western side, one can find Cape Manzi with its red cliffs overlooking a small peninsula. Toward the north, one may discover the Mulri Hills, steep yellow hills marked by ancient architectural ruins. Karachi's geographical situation displays the extent of its standing as the core of a complex trade network throughout Pakistan, due to its ports and vast industries. The major city is seen as a large transportation hub, the center of travel and action. The city is relatively isolated, with fishing villages sporadically located in its surroundings. The industries in Karachi's secondary activities comprise a significant portion of its municipal economy, involved in manual production of textiles, cement, steel, and more products. Fishing is another central part of Karachi's secondary activities, with the city being known as the biggest fishing region in Pakistan. The city's tertiary sector is dominated by transportation, implementing travel by car, rickshaw, train, and airplane. Within the region's quaternary sector, banking and finances, as well as media communications, are crucial to sustaining the city's reputation as a center of technology and media action within the nation. With a central business district at the core of the city and wealthier living conditions as one moves outward, the city takes on an urban model most reminiscent of the 1925 concentric zone model by Ernest Burgess. Squatter settlements, also called slums, are found in Karachi's outskirts, called bastis as in India. The relationship with India is very important here, as it reveals a history filled with nationalism and rivalry that has led to war, thereby significantly impacting Karachi's history and urban growth as a major internationally renowned city. This begs the question, how did Karachi achieve this urban growth? We must return to the year 1947, a time of tumultuous change for Karachi, then a part of India. An age of imperialism was ending by the British Raj in India. Deciding to grant independence to India, the British Empire exited the region with the end of World War II in 1945. How did this end to imperialism impact Karachi's urban growth? With the exit of the British Empire, politics driven by religion came into play. The National Muslim League, led by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, a native of Karachi, called for India to divide into two nations, one for the Hindus and one for the Muslims. Reluctantly, leaders of the other political parties agreed, and the nation of Pakistan was formed. As a result, Muslims in the new India traveled to the new Pakistan, and Hindus in the new Pakistan traveled to the new India. This became one of the biggest mass migrations in history. During the travel, conflict between migrating Hindus and Muslims arose, resulting in a series of surprise attacks from one group of followers upon the other across the two new countries. Amid the carnage, historians estimate that 200,000 to 2 million were killed, while 14 million became displaced. Prior to the partition, Karachi saw a demographic that displayed 50% of its citizens as Muslims, 40% as Hindus, and the remaining 10% as Christians. After the partition, however, Karachi's Hindu population drastically decreased, while its Muslim population immeasurably grew. By the 1950s, the population of Karachi had almost doubled due to the significant growth, resulting in the creation of Basti squatter settlements across the city's outskirts, despite overwhelming growth in its economy. The partition of India officially entered its end in the late 1950s, when the waves of travelers and refugees began to come to a gradual close in Karachi. However, Karachi had already begun its role as a rising city in southern Asia. As Karachi has emerged as a leading city not just in Pakistan but also in the rest of the continent, the city has seen rapid urban sprawl in its spread of terrain. Even though the partition came to an end, the Indian division marked a turning point in history between the two newly independent nations. Karachi and the rest of Pakistan would see further tensions with India over the next few years, escalating into a total of 4 conflicts in 1947, 1965, 1971, and 1999. Back at home, however, Pakistan as a nation was beginning to fall into unrest. In the year 1972, the Pakistani Chief of Staff General Zia-ul-Haq overthrew Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto and declared martial law across the country.
Mr. Bhutto की हुकूमत खत्म हो चुकी है. सारे मुल्क में मार्शल लॉ नाफिज कर दिया गया है. कौमी और सूबाई असेंबलियां तोड़ दी गई हैं. सूबाई गवर्नर और वजीर हटा दिए गए.
Though military coups had previously taken place in Pakistan, General Zia's was one unlike ever before by its magnitude and because of its time. Pakistan had entered the nuclear arms race with India, causing first world nations such as the United States to become uncomfortable and cautious. Despite this political climate, Karachi began to see economic improvement in its stature, growing its economic infrastructure amid diplomatic chaos through development of its media, as well as its secondary, tertiary, and quaternary industries. So how has Karachi changed in the past 70 years since the partition? One major change has been the rise of radical extremist terrorism, a plague that has impacted Karachi more than most other Pakistani cities since the 1980s. Influenced by sects of the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, also known as the Pakistani Taliban, has reached so far that insurgents often commit crime in full view of hundreds of witnesses, many of whom fail to report murders or kidnappings in fear of becoming victims themselves. The public assassination of renowned poet and musician Amjad Sabri in June of 2016 brought further discussion into the Taliban's influence over the city of Karachi. Despite the general increase in crime over recent decades, the last few years as a whole have seen a dramatic drop in the number of murders within the city, as a result of the government's crackdown on crime. Once seen as one of the most dangerous cities in the world, Karachi has gradually continued to regain its position as a center of Pakistan's diverse cultures rather than violence. These social reforms by the municipal government have been very beneficial to the city's economy, with the region seeing a dramatic rise in real estate prices throughout the 2015 fiscal year. Karachi has also seen a major rise in city pollution since 1947. In an interview with Zafar Zubairi, Karachi native and grandmother of yours truly, she recalls, Karachi was once a city where all roads were cleaned and washed every night. Trash on the streets was practically non-existent. Couples would travel in horse-drawn carriages in the nights, as children would play in unpolluted areas. All that has changed. The city has now become dirty, filled with trash bags on the roads, garbage flooding the street corners, and a lack of safe water in the busties near the city's outskirts. Traffic congestion makes inner-city travel almost impossible, not to mention its effect on the environment. She attributes the lack of cleanliness and safe living to the rise of crime over the past 20 years, as well as a lack of regard for environmental safety by the local government, leading to continuous pollution. Though it has retained its respective cultural practices, Karachi has been subject to globalization and modernization since 1947. For example, on any given day in the city's downtown area, one may find dozens of citizens glued to foreign-made technology, such as cell phones, computers, video cameras, and more. Western clothing has also made its entry into Karachi's culture, though the traditional shalwar kameez is still more prevalent today. Despite these changes since the partition, Karachi still retains its religious identity. With a city population that is over 97% Muslim, the Islamic faith often serves as a driving factor between civilian and even political actions, said by many to be the glue that has held the people of Pakistan together as a whole. Despite the show of a religious state, Karachi itself sees greater tolerance of other faiths. The Shia Islamic faith, a subsect of Islam for example, has seen more peace with the Sunni faith in Karachi than in other regions across Pakistan. Nonetheless, Shiites are still often subject to discrimination by other citizens, occasionally resulting in violence. This violence has been pivotal in driving the city's crime, reflecting a gradual cycle that has continued over the decades. Religious discrimination has been cause for greater violence within the city. The violence has then drawn attention away from environmental problems, leading to greater pollution. This cycle continues to be seen today, though signs of relief are becoming visible as the government works to suppress this violence in order to prevent the cycle from occurring. Karachi has also been careful in preserving architectural treasures since the partition, regions often visited by tourists and citizens from Karachi alike. Such examples include the Jehangir Kotari Parade, built in 1920, Frere Hall, built in 1865, and St. Patrick's Cathedral, built in 1845. Karachi's favorite pastime, cricket, has also remained a sincere part of its history since 1947. The city's national stadium attracts crowds of up to 34,000 spectators, solidifying the city's role in a major center of recreational activity. Contrary to belief, however, such activities have been crucial in providing relief to the crime scene in recent years. The city of Karachi is rich, with its beautiful buildings and diverse set of cultures. The home of more than 23 million, Karachi sees a fruitful economy and a rising status in media infrastructure. Despite this, the city has suffered in recent decades from crime and pollution, two plagues being battled by the local government today. As Zafar Zubairi says, she hopes Karachi will soon return to its initial greatness after its independence from India, a city with golden streets and a bright future. Can such a future be attained again? The answer, undoubtedly, is yes.
भर दो झोली भर दो झोली मेरी या मोहम्मद, लौट कर मैं न जाऊंगा खाली। भर दो झोली मेरी या मोहम्मद, लौट कर मैं न जाऊंगा खाली। भर दो झोली मेरी या मोहम्मद, लौट कर मैं न जाऊंगा खाली। भर दो झोली, भर दो झोली, भर दो झोली हम सब की, भर दो झोली, भर दो झोली मोहम्मद, भर दो झोली आबाज, भर दो झोली, भर दो झोली, भर दो झोली, भर दो झोली।
तुम्हारे आस्थाने से जमाना क्या नहीं पाता,
तुम्हारे आस्थाने से जमाना क्या नहीं पाता।
कोई भी दर से खाली
मांगने वाला नहीं जाता। भर दो झोली मेरी या मोहम्मद मदीना, भर दो झोली मेरी ताजदारे मदीना, भर दो झोली।
तुम जमाने के मुख्तार हो या नबी, बेकसों के मददगार हो या नबी, सबकी सुनते हो अपने हो या गैर हो,
सबकी सुनते हो अपने हो या गैर हो।
तुम गरीबों के गमखार हो या नबी।
भर दो झोली मेरी सरकारे मदीना, भर दो झोली मेरी ताजदारे मदीना, भर दो झोली।
हम है रंजो मुसीबत के मारे हुए, सख्त मुश्किल में है गम से हारे हुए, या नबी कुछ खुदारा हमें भीख दो,
या नबी कुछ खुदारा हमें भीख दो।
दर पे आए हैं झोली पसारे हुए।
भर दो झोली मेरी सरकारे मदीना, भर दो झोली मेरी ताजदारे मदीना, भर दो झोली।
है मुखालिफ जमाना किधर जाए हम, हालते बेकसी किसको दिखलाए हम तुम्हारे भिखारी हैं या मुस्तफा,
हम तुम्हारे भिखारी हैं या मुस्तफा।
किसके आगे भला हाथ फैलाए हम।
भर दो झोली मेरी सरकारे मदीना, भर दो झोली मेरी ताजदारे मदीना, भर दो झोली।
भर दो झोली मेरी या मोहम्मद, लौट कर मैं ना जाऊंगा खाली।
भर दो झोली मेरी या मोहम्मद, लौट कर मैं न जाऊंगा खाली। भर दो झोली मेरी या मोहम्मद, लौट कर मैं न जाऊंगा खाली। कुछ नवासों का सदका अता हो, कुछ नवासों का सदका अता हो। दर पे आया हूँ बनकर सवाली, कुछ नवासों का सदका अता हो। दर पे आया हूँ बनकर सवाली, कुछ नवासों का सदका अता हो। दर पे आया हूँ बनकर सवाली।
हक से पाई वो शाने करीमी, मरहबा दोनों आलम के वाली।
हक से पाई वो शाने करीमी, मरहबा दोनों आलम के वाली। ओ मरहबा दोनों आलम के वाली, ओ मरहबा दोनों आलम के वाली। हक से पाई वो शाने करीमी, मरहबा दोनों आलम के वाली। उसकी किस्मत का चमका सितारा, उसकी किस्मत का चमका सितारा। जिस पे नजरे करम